As part of our special election series, my colleague Mini Menon caught up with Rajya Sabha MP Rajeev Chandrasekhar on Business Nightline yesterday and began by asking him what the biggest challenges and issues are ahead of the polls.
As a citizen, I think I want the government to do something far more specific and meaningful and real about the economy. For the last 2 years, 1.5 years, we have spent too much time on rhetoric and spinning this India economic superpower story. It requires for the new government to get down to doing some real governance reforms. We need improvements in public spending. We need to reduce corruption. We need to improve the state of institutional state capacity, the regulators, the police, the intelligence. All of these state institutions need improvement in terms of the capacity, capability, and professionalism.
Right, but Rajeev, I haven't heard too much of that as far as politicians are concerned. A lot of focus seems to be going to the alliances, etc. What are the big issues, according to you, that these national parties, so-called national parties, should be focusing on?
In my opinion, the national issues are very simple. There is the economy, there is this whole situation of our security, and the whole issue of getting a credible governance model for our country and for its people. These are the three issues. You can have subtext to these issues, but essentially the government or the party that excites people with their vision on security, on governance and the economy will be the government that should get elected.
Right. I asked Mr. K.K. Mistry from HDFC this question yesterday, Rajeev. During a slowdown, corporates tighten belts. Are you worried that there is no such sign from the government or anybody vying to come back and form a government right now?
No, I think there is a difference in how a corporate responds to slowdown and how a government responds to slowdown. They are actually, in a way, in my view at least, they are very different. The government actually has to spend intelligently and take the economy out of a slowdown. Corporates do the reverse, where they get more conservative on risk taking, they get more conservative on investment and capital expenditure. So the two analogies are not really related and should not be. The government, like I said, needs to focus more on public spending on infrastructure, but to make sure that the public spending on infrastructure is not leaky and is not creating middlemen who are rich, but rather assets that are created and then downstream investments into steel, cement, housing and all of that are created as a result. So public spending has to be accelerated, but public spending ought to be infrastructure oriented that creates downstream economic activities and employment. Like I said, the framework of the state capacity needs to be overall vis-a-vis external investors to give them a sense that this is really a economic and regulatory architecture that allows investments over medium term and long term to gain in value and for investors to be rewarded.